New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you.
Hi, now you can hear me. Welcome to the Inclusive Church. My name is Tracy Brown. I'm so very glad that you have found this show and you are watching it today. Every week we get together and review our commitment to being inclusive in our spiritual communities. We think about what are the trends that are affecting our ability to be inclusive. We talk about some of the pitfalls that we might face and how we could achieve our goal in spite of those pitfalls or landmines. And it is just a really good opportunity to slow down for a little while, for just a few minutes. And remember, we've made a commitment to create spiritual communities where oneness does not require sameness. We like it that everyone is different from everyone else. We like it that there are all different kinds of cultural norms that we can incorporate into what we are doing and teaching and how we are being in the world. And we love that all of that gives us the opportunity to literally live in the spiritual principles of harmony, unity, and love. Because hopefully you think like I think, in that I believe that people were not created different from one another by accident. That the creator of all life, in its infinite intelligence and its limitless creativity, created different cultures, different norms, and different ways of expressing on purpose. So it's our job to figure out how to make those differences work in alignment with who we are and what we say is important. Now, I probably could end the show right there. Like, that's Tracy, not on her soapbox. I'm about to get on my soapbox. But not Tracy on her soapbox, just capturing why we do this show and why many of our regular viewers dial in. And speaking of regular viewers, you can be like Anita and say good afternoon. Yeah, it would be a little awkward, Anita, if I didn't unmute my microphone unless you are able to read lips. I'm so glad that most of the technology we use today actually comes across the screen. Your mic is muted. Yeah. If you want to follow Anita's lead, feel free to put your name or just say hello in the comment section or in the chat, depending on which platform you are on. So, what's the theme today? I am smiling about the theme, but I am about to get on my soapbox and rant. The theme is safety. The theme is safety, and I am one of the people who frequently has been known to say that I wish you would just stop saying that this is a safe place. Hey Wayne, how you doing? So glad that you are here today. And people always look at me kind of strange, like, what? We don't want to create safety? Well, sure, we want to create safety, but we can't promise that everyone will feel safe. So I'm going to talk about safety, what it means, how we use it, why I think you shouldn't use it unless you're going to truly define what you mean by it at the same time and every time you use the word. And then I will give you my brainstorm list of things that you could say instead that might actually be more accurate in terms of representing your intention and your goal. So let's start with definitions, right? It's always helpful to start with definitions. So if you go online or go old school and pull the dictionary off of your bookshelf, you're going to find a definition that is this one or very similar to it. What is safety? Safety is defined as the condition of being protected from or unlikely to cause, the condition of being unlikely to cause danger, risk, or injury, right? Safety is defined as the condition of being protected from or unlikely to cause danger, risk, or energy. So parents are always working to ensure that their children are safe, right? That they are creating or providing safety. They're providing parameters and limitations for their child or for the family that will result in safety, right? I recently was talking to someone who is a grandparent for the first time, and they were that weekend they were child proofing their home so that their very young grandchild would experience safety. But it's not just parental, right? If we are leaders in an organization, we want to create policies and procedures and that limit the risk of someone experiencing danger or injury. So safety to a certain degree is about limiting the risk of danger occurring or injury occurring. And so we do take that responsibility seriously. And in our churches, our spiritual communities, there should be no difference. We will take the responsibility of creating safety seriously, whether that is physical safety or psychological safety or emotional safety, right? We as leaders are concerned about that. But we can't guarantee it. So when we say, oh no, come to this event or come to this workshop or come to our church, our church is a safe place for you if you identify as LGBTQ plus. Or our church is a safe place if you are a person of color, and we're a predominantly white community, but it's a safe place for you to come. Our community or our conference that we're sponsoring is a safe place for you to explore how to apply spiritual principles in your life. A safe place in, I think it was dictionary.com, a safe place is a physical, digital, or emotional environment where individuals feel secure, comfortable, and free from judgment, fear, or harm. Now, I don't know. Uh, some of you may be like, yes, that's exactly what happens at my church. That's exactly what happens in our spiritual community. People come here and they feel secure, they feel comfortable. There is no judgment and they have no fear, and no one is going to harm them. And I will not argue with you if you say that is true about your community, unless I'm a member of that community or I have attended an event and I either did not experience feeling secure, I was not comfortable, or I experienced judgment from people in the community who were participating and who said things that were offensive to me as a Black woman, or who said things that were offensive to me as a cisgender woman, or who said things that were made me feel uncomfortable. Okay, I'm gonna rephrase that. Said things that as a result of them saying certain things, I felt uncomfortable because it reminded me of judgments and stereotypes that are not true. So unless I personally experience something to the opposite, if you tell me that you can guarantee your church or your community is a place where everyone who comes is going to feel secure, comfortable, and they are going to be free from judgment, fear, or harm, then I would invite you to stop saying it's a safe place. Now, you don't have to agree with me. You don't. You don't have to agree with me. I am just giving you the Tracy Brown RScP take on why Tracy does not say that some event or some place is a safe place, and that Dr. Tracy Brown, RScP, will not say in an announcement or in an invitation that she is guaranteeing this is a safe place for you to explore your spiritual expression, or this is a safe place for you to come and share what you want to know about inclusion or how you feel as a member of a marginalized community or as the dominant community. Tracy won't say it, and that's all I'm going to share with you is why I don't say it and what are some of the brainstorm listings that I keep in mind that you might want to try out as well. So for me, basically, because I don't feel I can guarantee physical safety because I don't know if someone is going to stand up and punch somebody. I mean, I would hope not, but people come into events or come into a Sunday service with whatever they're experiencing in the world. I cannot assure you that there won't be an active shooter situation. I cannot take responsibility for everything that everyone else does and claim that this is a safe space. Um, whether it's physical safety, which in general we're not thinking much about, but especially if we have people from different cultural groups and different age groups, then that physical safety is not guaranteed. We more often are concerned about, and people say, oh, this is a safe place, because they're thinking about psychological or emotional safety. Oh, this is a place where you can come and share your truth. This is a place where you can be authentic. Well, let me promise you, if you have 50 people in the room and every person is being authentic, you are going to have some other person or people be offended, be afraid because of their own personal experience in their life up until that day. I don't know what your individual personal traumas have been in your life. I don't know what each person's drama has been in their life, even if they have healed from it. The moment someone makes a reference or says a name and that unhealed woundedness gets triggered by that, they don't feel safe. Every other person in the room can feel safe, but that one person or those four women, when someone makes a comment and they feel like it reminds them of or brings forward the trauma they have worked through around being sexually or emotionally abused when they were younger, or someone making a comment and a reference about cancer and using their personal experience of their own life or someone in their family who they were the caretaker for, and you've got 5 people in the room who all of a sudden feel exposed because they either went through cancer or they had someone who they really cared about who died as a result of a cancer experience, and now they don't feel safe to say what they are thinking or feeling because of the whatever was presented and the way it was presented. I told you I'm on a rant. So I am going to be on this rant probably forever. And I just want to stop and say, I know it is a very strongly felt belief for me. And you can use the phrase, this is a safe place if you want. It doesn't upset me when people do that. I just, in my mind, get reaffirmed I won't use it. And I think the more diversity there is in our spiritual communities, the more we have to guard against guaranteeing that everything will be safe or people will feel safe, because You don't know where they're coming from. You don't know their experience. You don't know their cultural needs or norms. And it may not be physically dangerous, but it may ruin your credibility because you have people who are visiting or who have come 5 or 6 times to evaluate whether this is a church they want to align themselves with. And every week they hear it's a safe space, but every week when they're getting some coffee after service, right, they hear somebody say something that is offensive or is based on a stereotype, or the person next to them, is leaning over and saying, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. You're going to really love it. We're really friendly people." But when they came in, they were barely greeted. And after service, they're in the fellowship hall, but no one comes up to say hello. Like, your credibility is just dropped. So, so Lenora, I'm laughing because what's a different way to invite people without saying safe? I'm gonna get to that. I am, but I have to do the rant first, right? David Alexander, I don't like it either. Safe. Safe to who? Safe how? And at whose cost? For you to be safe, do I have to give up who I am? Safe for some may require the silence of others. Yeah. So, okay, I'll get off the rant and move to uh, I will get off the rant and move to. I'm just going to brainstorm. Well, right before I started, I brainstormed a list of some of the things that I would say or do say instead. So instead of we are our community, our church is a safe place. I have suggested to a few people that you can say, we are a community or we are a church that practices X, Y, or Z, right? That we practice being inclusive, or we practice being respectful of people who are different from us. So using the word practice is more important than using the word model. I was actually watching a service online with a community that will go unnamed, and they weren't saying we were a safe place, but they did say we are a community that models inclusion. And and many people in the community might. I might say that, our leadership models inclusion, or I might say we work to model inclusion. But of course, when you think about anyone who takes your language literally, as soon as they observe or talk to someone who is not modeling being inclusive of people who are different from them in a significant way, then again, your language loses some credibility. I will say I am a part of a community that is committed to being radically inclusive, and we're still learning how to do that, right? But we are committed to being that, or we are committed to practicing that. Here are some other things that are on my list. Literally brainstorm notes 10 minutes before the show. Um, this is a community where we welcome new experiences, or this is a program where we welcome learning about new experiences or different ways to experience joy in the world. If I'm doing a session and it is about a specific spiritual quality. We are committed to being respectful of people who have different experiences than our own. This is a church where we have been learning about differences and learning how to incorporate those differences into how we behave with one another. Now, I'm very aware as I'm saying these that many people will say, but safe place is 2 words, and you're saying a lot more words. I will err on the side of saying more words and being more clear and saying what I can back up with the action in my community. And Wayne, thank you for this. It's like the Janice Stanfield song, What Would I Do Today If I Were Brave? I think, like I could say, this is a community where we are brave enough to tackle differences, where we are brave enough to apologize if we offend someone, right? What would I do to be inclusive if I were brave? This is a community where, or this is an event where we will encourage people to be brave in sharing their unique experiences, right? So then it's not about us being on the defensive. It's about we are committed to encouraging people to be brave in getting to know other norms or other cultures. This is an event that is going to be focused on having hard conversations about the ways, about whatever it is. So some of you know that in my home spiritual community, we created an 18-hour, 6-module session on facing racism, or series that was focused on facing racism. And in talking about that, we knew it would be uncomfortable. We knew that there were many people who would not feel safe diving into this kind of conversation over a 6 3-hour module and doing the homework between. And so we talked a lot about inviting diverse views from people who have different experiences. We talked a lot about being willing that, we are creating a community that is willing to have hard conversations. We are creating a community and we want to give you the skills that you need to stay in the arena when it becomes uncomfortable. So we talk about what the outcomes are or what the behaviors are, because if we just use the descriptor of this is a safe place, everybody is interpreting safe place based on what they need individually to feel safe. I don't know what each individual person needs to feel safe. I do know that in cultural groups, by ethnicity, by age group, by socioeconomic status, by gender identity, there are different things that people might expect to determine, is this a place where I feel safe? But I don't know what all of the specific criteria are. So I will err on the side of being descriptive about the behavior. I will err on the side of being descriptive about navigating the confusion or the frustration rather than use an umbrella term like safe space. A few others that I brainstormed were, we're a community where we invite diverse views. We're a community where, or this is an event where we will spend some time listening to conflicting views and navigating how to understand them or how to manage them or how to build something new as a result of that. This is a community where we practice helping each other through conflict or conflicting situations. This is a community where we invite authenticity and respect. and we hold people accountable for both. This is an event where we will be paying attention to cultural norms and expectations. This is an event or class where we will practice supporting each other. I use that one a lot in courses where we're doing ground rules or guidelines for action as we go through this 8-week course together. I almost always will have one that says we practice supporting each other. Sometimes I'll use we practice understanding and supporting each other. And the last one that came up in my brainstorming was we consider impact as well as intention. And I know some of you are really familiar with the lesson that we try to remember, that you can have the best intentions, but you might still have a negative impact, and we're responsible for the impact, even if our intention was good. So intention does not always equal impact, or the way I use it often, intention does not excuse impact. So intent does not excuse impact. So those are some of the brainstorm, because I've been really conscious about this term safe place, or, we are a safe place, or you can feel safe here. I've been really sensitive about that for at least the last 10 years. So the examples that I just shared with you are ones that came to me just literally sitting down and saying, okay, brainstorm. What are some of the things you say, Tracy? And I hope that they're helpful for you as you think about what you might say instead of safe place, right? Or this is a safe community for you, for someone else. You might make it really safe for yourself, and what makes you safe does not necessarily transfer to someone from a different ethnic group, a different age group, a different sexual orientation group, a different gender or gender identity group, right? The more different someone is from you, the more likely it is that what you need to be safe may not translate into what they need to feel safe. And then one final comment. So this is back almost on the ramp, but I'm trying not to go all the way there. So the whole idea of being safe, like what is that about anyway? And sometimes I bring that up because often when I hear people really feeling like it's important to be safe, they are from a community that is part of the dominant community, and in their life they are accustomed to and feel entitled to be safe. It's not usually people who have been traumatized. It's not usually the people who have been marginalized because they haven't felt safe anywhere they go, or in many places where they go. And that is just a part of navigating the world. I don't expect to feel safe, or I know what to do to create an environment where I am experiencing safety for myself. And so it is worth having a conversation with yourself or others about, who are we trying to make safe, and who is it that's asking to be safe, and what do we mean by safe anyway? I'm just going to leave that right there because that is all the time that I am going to spend on this. Couple of comments in the chat I will highlight. Dr. David, I prefer brave space, which denotes we will embrace challenging conversations and we don't value sameness. And also in response, Wayne, always choose kindness and make sure that we are delivering kindness in the way that the people receiving it perceive it as kindness. And Dr. David, committed and learning, that's a good one, and it's honest. And that's really what to think about. Like, why am I saying it? Why am I using the phrase safe place? What am I really trying to ensure? Or how do I really expect people to behave? That is what you need to say, rather than something that can be so easily misinterpreted. That is going to be about it for this week's episode of The Inclusive Church. Please join me in creating inclusive churches, inclusive spiritual communities where people can be authentic, where people know they are valued, and where we build the community by integrating different ideas, different norms, different skills, different programs, different opportunities based on the variety of people we are learning together with and serving together with. I hope to see you back here next Tuesday at noon Mountain Time, right here on the New Thought Media Network for The Inclusive Church.
Thanks for watching The Inclusive Church with Tracy Brown. Join us again next week at 12 noon Mountain Time.
Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk. Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown. Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Unity of Garden Park. New Thought Philadelphia. The Sunshine Cathedral. Unity of Savannah. And the Ohm Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network.